I don't know about you, Shawn, but I don't have a lot of faith in the federal government to get to the bottom of this. And even if they did get to the bottom of it, I don't have a lot of faith that they would, even reveal it to the American people, just like we still don't have the Kennedy files, right? And so that's why some of us were like, okay, well, we might not be on the task force. We might not have subpoena power, but let's do everything that we can within our contacts, and our intelligence, to get as many answers as we can for the American people.
Did you get any answers? Will anyone at Secret Service be held accountable for the major snafu in Trump's attempted assassination? Plural.
I think it's too early to tell yet. I think it's going to largely be based on whether or not Trump becomes president or not. I don't have any faith whatsoever that with the people that we have in Congress now, that anybody will be held accountable. I've just, I'm only a freshman, but I've seen the game enough to kind of see how it plays out. I think if President Trump gets back into office, I do think that there's a really good chance that there will be accountability, but everything is so political up there, as you know. I mean, and just on that topic, I volunteered to be on the assassination task force. I sent Speaker Johnson a text saying, hey, I was a NSW sniper. I think I could bring value to this investigation, and I wasn't put on it. Now, I get it.
You were not put on it?
I was not put on it.
Why were you not? Who made that call?
Well,
why would you not have a former Navy SEAL sniper, right, who's better than probably any of the Secret Service snipers out there? Why would they not have somebody with that relevant of experience on the topic inside Congress on the committee?
So to be as transparent as I can be, to my knowledge, there's 3 snipers in Congress: myself, Morgan Luttrell, and Corey Mills. Not one of us was put on that task force. So you start asking questions right there. And then
who makes the determination?
Leadership always makes the determination.
Who's the leadership?
Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House right now.
So Mike Johnson doesn't want the 3 most relevant individuals in Congress to be on that committee.
So what I was told is that he had to please the entirety of the conference, right? Because it was such a big deal and so many people other than myself volunteered to be on it. He had to make this group over here happy, this group over here happy, this group over here happy. So there's a part of me, because I work up there, that understands that, but it because the selection of that committee was political. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, you start asking yourself, okay, so are the witnesses that we call, is that going to be political too? Are the findings and what we release to the American people, is that going to be political too? And my answer to that is most likely yes. And that's why
this isn't about, sorry to cut you off, man. Yeah. I'm pissed. So this isn't about uncovering anything or getting to the root issue. This is about jerking people off and making people happy.
That's Washington.
Yeah. I would say that they still want to, do the investigation. And there are a lot of people, whether they were snipers or not, who want to get to the bottom of it. My point is they didn't pick the best people for the job, and they know it. And that's what bothers me, because it doesn't stop there, Shawn.
Who did they put on
every committee that you look at up in Capitol Hill, it's not, who's the best for the job. It's, who has influence, who has money, who can fundraise, who's been here longest. And so you see a lot of the same stuff in other committees as well. And often the higher you go, the more you're willing to, play the game and be a yes man. And that's why often I think, people like myself are given the Heisman and told, hey, no thanks, man, we're good.
Who's on the committee? Who did they put on there?
So you guys actually have a representative, pretty good representative here in Tennessee who's on the committee. Mark Green is on the committee.
Chairs Homeland Security.
Yep. Clay Higgins is on the committee, who I think is probably, in my opinion, the best guy on the committee, just because Clay is willing to Clay's tough. And he was in law enforcement, and he was also in military. And he's already gone and done his own independent investigation. He's already released that to the public. So I'm glad that Clay got put on there. And I don't know all the other names. Tim, do you know the other names?
Are they utilizing you and the two other congressmen's expertise?
No, not at this point. But I don't even think they've had a hearing yet. So we did our own parallel. We called it a roundtable up in Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago with Eric Prince, Dan Bongino, and then one of the counter snipers who was there. Because I don't know about you, Shawn, but I don't have a lot of faith in the federal government to get to the bottom of this. And even if they did get to the bottom of it, I don't have a lot of faith that they would, even reveal it to the American people, just like we still don't have the Kennedy files, right? And so that's why some of us were like, okay, well, we might not be on the task force. We might not have subpoena power, but let's do everything that we can within our contacts, and our intelligence, to get as many answers as we can for the American people.
Did you get any answers?
Well, we've gotten some answers. I've actually been to Butler twice now. One of the things that I did a video about, you probably saw it, was one of the first things that Director Cheetah was saying was that we didn't put counter snipers up on that roof because it was too steep. So myself and other members from the Homeland Security Committee went and got up on that roof, and I showed out. We were walking around on it. Right after me, a 70-year-old man named Carlos Jimenez, who's a representative from Florida, got up on it, walked right up it, no problem at all. You could see the water tower right over my shoulder that nobody got up on top of. That would have been a sniper's, paradise, or a counter sniper's paradise, and nobody got up on that. One of the things that I broke on with Dan Bongino on his podcast was that these pipe bombs that we were told Thomas Crooks had were built in ammo cans. But, some of the other things that we've learned is that, and I know you've talked about it as well with Eric Prince, but the Secret Service is completely incapable of, stopping a 20-year-old kid with no military experience from getting 150 yards from the president. What would that look like with, a trained, team like, whether it's the Houthis.
We had intelligence that said the Iranians were
whatever it is.
Him.
We had intelligence.
We have intelligence that said that the Iranians that had put a hit out on Trump just prior to that.
There is intelligence that's a very big threat as well. But some of the other things that we've learned, Shawn, that's alarming is that the Secret Service seems to be completely allergic to innovating and adapting to modern warfare, right? Dan Bongino was talking about how when he was there, it took decades for them to even put slings on their primary weapons, right? Yeah, like their primaries, their M4s or whatever they were carrying. And anybody who's done, whether you're a police officer or you've been in special operations or you're a Marine, that how important slings are, because if you're shooting your primary and you go dry or you have a jam and then you need to transition to your secondary, what are you going to do with your primary? Are you going to throw it on the ground? Or what if you have to climb a ladder, right? What if you have to do some prisoner handling? What if you have to process some evidence? You can't just be throwing your weapon on the ground. And so he was saying, the Secret Service was so backwards that it took decades for them to even get slings. He also said that they didn't want to transition to a higher caliber weapon, like an AR style platform that shot something that maybe some of the threats were carrying, right? And so you couple that with, they didn't have a drone up on site, right? They even turned down a drone from some of the local authorities. And you just got to wonder, why aren't they forward thinking at all? Because our enemies most certainly are.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.